What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 35 of the Flight Room Podcast. It's me, Lighthouse. I'm your host for today. I'm here with my brothers, P Shack, Remy Please, and Sayal. Simo will be joining us shortly, as you can see. But let's get into some of these topics real quick. So let's talk about these vaccines coming up. I mean, that's a hot topic in the street right now. Everybody just some people say they want to get it, some people say they don't want to get it. So people think it's a political stunt. Some people think it's a really, like for our health. Like, what do you guys think? Like, what's your overall outlook on the whole vaccine shit? Like, what's up? What y'all think about it?
I just think it's weird that not everybody, people feel the need to take it on live. People with like celebrity have to take it on live TV. Like that, it just seemed fishy to me. Like, why is there a push? Obama, George Bush, Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Fauci. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure like LeBron James is they're gonna be calling him down to take the shit next. They actually called for him to do it. I'm like, oh, isn't that a coincidence? But yeah, just like that celebrity push is just weird to me, because they started with the celebrities. They was the first ones to get it. Like, it wasn't the regular, Joe across the block. It was celebrities, the first ones that was actually having the coronavirus. And everybody was like, oh, I kind of want that too. Like, the celebrities guy, I kind of want it. And now they the first ones getting the vaccines.
Yeah. Not for you. What you think about it, P Shack? What's your outlook?
I feel like it's a lot of like commercialism to it. It's almost like you're bragging about having it, or you're bragging about getting it, and I'm wary of that, because I do feel like it's in like a promotion for it almost. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like Nike, how they promoting fucking gear. Like, it's like, nigga, look what I did. Now you do it. And I don't know. I don't like that aspect of it. Like, I feel like it's something behind it, because they know that people's common sense is to not take it until that shit is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me just say this. Nobody knows the after effects of it, because how long has it been since the first person has taken it? Like, there's drugs right now that's being deemed as harmful to your body 5 years later. You know what I'm saying? So how the fuck are you gonna say?
And you gotta take 2 doses. You gotta take 2 doses.
Yeah, how the fuck you gonna say it's even 90 percentile, curable for you, and you don't know the after effects? Like, that's my thing. I am against anything that doesn't have like a proven record for years. So yeah.
That's a valid point. What about you, Alex? What's your outlook, bro?
Yeah, I'm shaky on it too. Like, I mean, I know everybody, or not, I know a good portion of people that have been waiting for it and are hoping that that's the quote unquote cure, or how we can go back to normalcy. But the same, this just might be me. The same way I wouldn't go get a PlayStation the first time it came out, the same way I wouldn't go get an iPhone the first time it came out, the same way I wouldn't go get an Xbox the first time it come out, I would damn sure not be being the first person to go get no fucking vaccine.
That's a valid point. You kind of kid. That was like bars right there, though. That's real shit.
I know that shit dope. That's the shit probably shouldn't equate like that, but that's how I look at it. Like, bro, don't make me no getting picked for no shit like that. Especially like, we know the ramifications of how they did some other people. How they did our people in previous years and previous.
Oh, yeah.
So don't be me. I don't need to be no test dummy. And as Shaq said, let me see some research and let me see some findings first. Like, cause y'all did a good service. I mean, y'all did a good survey, and like, and don't get me wrong, I do understand like the actual push for it, because yes, COVID-19 is here, but the COVID strand has been here for a good period of time. So I do understand how that vaccine has been quote unquote been in a process of like being developed previously. However, just don't put me on that front line.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm with y'all, and I think we all pretty much have a similar outlook. The thing I say about it, I mean, everybody pretty much stole my thunder. Like I have no words. Like literally, I was gonna say make all those same points. So I'm like, but yeah.
Have y'all seen like the videos of like? Oh my fault. Go ahead.
I mean, just the fact that we don't even have no sort of like history of testing it and seeing the outcome, and you know what I'm saying, and like just for a long period of time, just you know what I'm saying, just seeing what's going to come from it. Like there's no evidence, there's no history of it, so it's like for us to just trust that we can put something in our body and we have no idea what it's going to do to us. It's like we've had this conversation before. It's like if you if you go somewhere and you don't even actually, I forgot my point, but go ahead though. Y'all go ahead, you got it.
No, I was gonna say, have you seen there's videos like where like medical places are giving like the first vaccines and they wouldn't even have like any liquid in the syringe, or the syringe was like didn't have like a pin to like the needle part to it. Like it was a lot of shit like they was zooming in on this weekend. And
I saw.
It wasn't.
Now I saw when Obama was given the shot. He administered the shot, and like you know how like you would normally like push down on the shot,
and then drew it back.
That nigga didn't do any of that.
Yeah,
it was like seemed janky. And then even with the testing, like they said,
I saw that.
They said what was the testing? It was like maybe 4 people out of the first batch or however many developed like palsy, and then I think already like died based off of it.
Their face was all chopped and screwed.
Yeah, and I know and understand that like with any vaccine or with any like push, there are always going to be side effects like we see on a day-to-day basis. But that's it's too soon, man. It's too soon. Like that's y'all got to do some more research, man.
Yeah.
My mom took the jump today.
Wow.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. But she's like she works for the health department in Montgomery County and for the immunization program for like when kids, get their shots and stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, but those probably gonna be the first people that take the vaccine, the people who have jobs where they have pretty much are required. You know what I'm saying? They have no choice but to do it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's required though. Like people like just
but is that the thing? Is it required, or is it like if you were documented had COVID, you have to get it? You know what I'm saying? No. Like it's like, is there anybody that has to take it though? That's the thing. Like, is there anybody like you have to take it? Like, is there a mandatory list for it?
I don't think it is as of right now. No.
I think they're going to push forward towards frontline workers. I don't know if they're going to make it mandatory, but frontline workers, so the healthcare and different things like that. But I don't know if they're actually going to make it, mandatory. It's a good question.
But the thing is, all right, so if it's not mandatory, what if people just don't want to take it? And like, you know what I'm saying? But the basically it's going to be a thing where, let's say it really does work. And let's say 50% of the American population take it. Does that mean we're safe now because 50% of the American population took the vaccine while the other 50% didn't? You understand my question? It's like what's the line? You know what I'm saying? For it to be like, all right, now back to regular life again. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a good point, because like what I've read up on like pandemics and epidemics in the past, and they do have like a percentile to as when whoever takes the vaccine at a certain percent, then they deem like society safe again. So that's actually a good point, and I don't know what that point is with this one. But that makes me have like secondary and tertiary questions about it, because like I've heard that you can actually catch it again. If you have COVID, you can catch it again. Like you're not totally immune to it just because you had it, like chicken pox.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So to that point, if the whole coronavirus, I mean, if the vaccine is not mandatory, that means it's pretty much guaranteed this is a sickness that's always going to be around. like going into the future, it's going to be like the flu, it's going to be like the cold. Like even if 50% of the population take it and we're safe to go outside and live regular lives, it's still going to be people out here still carrying that shit. So it's basically going to be like a new common cold, a new, you know what I'm saying, a new flu, a new just some common shit. You know what I mean?
But why? How's that possible? Just it's like new.
Because the thing is like the only way I feel like if to solve it is if to make it mandatory, right? But even though if even though that's not what we want, but what if people don't want to take that shit? Then what's next? What's the next step? So
yeah, I think they're going to start putting, maybe not in 2021, but maybe even at the end of 2021. But I think they're going to start like mandating, like, you know, some of the freedoms that we have, like, you know, traveling, going to games, crossing borders, like, you know, shit like that. I think there's going to be a mandate. Like, if you want to do this, you got to get the vaccine. And I think that's when more people are going to start getting it. Because you know how people feel right now. Everybody feel like we on lockdown. You know, people don't even wear their mask, want to wear their mask. So, like, I can see people, like, just getting it just to satisfy the government so they could go places. Like, I could see that. I wouldn't.
But I can definitely see if it gets to that point, a lot of people taking that vaccine, like nigga, you can't get on a plane unless you take it. You can't leave the country unless you take it.
Right.
Like I know a lot of people going, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you got business and you got other aspirations overseas and in other places and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So wow, we got some decisions to make as a people, nigga.
Why is that? Why is that? If other people have the vaccine and like you're scared that I don't have the vaccine, but if you have the vaccine, aren't you protected against me?
Don't you think that just causes separation where everybody just scared that who got the vaccine, he didn't take it, I can't be around him. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's just causing even more separation from people and shit. Like, you know, it's kind of fucked up.
And another thing, as far as like celebrities and shit, when they was first like delivering the vaccines to all these hospitals, it was just like some big like ceremony. They was like wheeling the shit into the hospital, and then they got fucking nurses doing all them fucking TikTok videos and shit. Like, y'all was the motherfuckers was doing the fucking TikTok videos to begin with shit, and now y'all doing the shit with the vaccines. Like, come on, how bad is this shit really?
Yeah, I saw all that too, man.
Sit your ass down.
But what they were just what kind of TikTok videos was they doing? They was just like
they was just dancing like oh we got the vaccine,
regular dance, like random dancing.
Oh, they was like juju.
They was like you know choreographed dancing and
the unveiling of the box with the damn shots in it.
Come on.
Yeah,
I thought it was life or death, and now y'all fucking dancing.
Anyway. That's a little tone deaf though. It is a little bit, you know what I'm saying? They don't even go together. It really like as far as serious as something as this is, y'all ain't acting like people that's surrounded by people just dying left and right. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely wouldn't be in the mood to dance, you know what I'm saying, at all. You know, so
AD, I mean, since we having no overtime today, you know, if you go on the CDC website and you look up the death toll of this year, just like general death toll, it's like 2.7 million or some shit like that. And you look it up for 2018 and the death toll was like 2.8 million.
Death toll of what in 2008?
Just plain old just American deaths, 2.8 million.
Oh, okay.
And then this year is 2.7 million. So we not. There's no difference. It's just the deaths this year is being labeled as such. So everything, so high blood pressure and diabetes and heart disease, car crashes, all that shit is lumped under, you know, COVID.
Hey Simo, we on vaccine talk right now, so we need a little bit of your input right now. Like, so what you think, man? What's your whole outlook on the vaccines and everything?
Oh, getting the vaccine?
Yeah.
This nigga.
Look, I'm a little reserved on getting the vaccine myself, but what they call it, herd, herd, herd,
Herd immunity.
herd immunity. Yeah, herd
What does that
immunity.
mean exactly? What does that mean exactly?
So it means basically it's enough people that have gotten the vaccine, and it's enough people that have already gotten the shit,
The vid sauce.
they've already gotten the fucking COVID-19, and they beat that shit. So it's enough people out here that have already had the COVID-19 and made it through the shit, and there's enough people that's getting the vaccine and shit. So you're automatically gonna be okay or whatever, supposedly. At the end of the day, that's the herd shit is supposed to be. So I believe in that shit. So I don't see no reason for me to have to go and get the vaccine. I don't see no reason for me to get this shit. If it's gonna be enough people that already have the shit and enough people that already beat the shit, and that's exactly what it means. So
What if they say you can't go to Puerto Rico unless you take the vaccine?
well, that's a problem. That's where I'm going. The next 2 or 3 years, that's where I'm going. So that might be a problem. But that'd be the last. But I'm pretty sure that ain't gonna happen now. I'm pretty sure that ain't gonna happen because they was dropping niggas off. They was pulling niggas up in the carnival ships and all that shit over in Puerto Rico and shit. So I know that's the last thing they're gonna say. Mm-hmm. But I ain't fucking with it though. I really ain't fucking with it. I'm not scared of this shit or whatever. I know it's niggas out here saying, "Oh no, don't take it" or whatever because you don't know the side effects and all that other shit or whatever the fuck. But me personally, I'm not gonna take it. I don't even remember the last fucking flu vaccination I had. Probably in middle school, elementary school, or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's mandatory or some shit. Like when we had to go to
Yeah, I never had one before.
yeah, like when we got to college, we had to get the meningitis and all that other shit or whatever the fuck. Unless it's fucking mandatory, you know what I'm saying, to do some shit. I'm not gonna get it.
But look, that's the thing, because if you think about it, a lot of those vaccines that we took when we was kids and had to go to school, them shits was mandatory. You know what I'm saying? So, or at least I thought they was mandatory. Are they? All those because we had to take we took the polio.
You can't go to school.
We took because I remember we took like you can't go to school without those vaccines. Yeah. So who's to say that this ain't next on the list? Who's to say it ain't next on the list?
Yeah, it might be.
This shit, but it's just the big question mark is that this one is something that they created so fast with no history of it. I think that's the big thing about it. You know.
I get it, and I understand the whole skeptical type shit about it, around it. You know, as black people, colored people, you know what I'm saying? Like they done experimented in all types of shit. The Tuskegee Airmen and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But you know what I'm saying? It's a fucking vaccination. The fucking world is in a pandemic. I get it. I understand. So if I don't know. Shit. Matter of fact, my mom's just told me she getting the shit tomorrow or whatever. She getting the vaccination tomorrow. She's she's a fucking some type of director or some shit for some healthcare type of shit in DC or whatever. So she got to get the shit or whatever, and she got to administer that shit to a bunch of motherfuckers out there joint or whatever. I get it, I understand, but me personally, I'm chilling. I don't remember. Like I said, I don't remember the last time I had a fucking flu vaccination. I don't that's how you're supposed to know that your body is working. You know what I'm saying? That's how you're supposed to know your body is working. If you can fight off a cold and you know, and shake that shit off or whatever the fuck, that's how you know your body is working. So I don't really see the necessity in getting the shit, but you know, it's supposed to be some shit that we ain't never seen before or whatever. So I don't know. I really don't know at the end of the day. But personally, I'm not getting it unless I have to get the shit. And I like to travel, and I've seen some joints where if you want to go here, you want to go there, whatever. I seen shits like if you want to go to a fucking football, baseball game, or whatever the fuck they talking about, you might have to get some shit. They supposedly got some shit where if you want to walk into a football or baseball game or some shit, you have to have the shit, and they got their little readers or whatever. If you had the vaccine or whatever, they're gonna read that shit. If you didn't get it, you're not coming in. I don't care if you pay for your ticket or whatever. Blah blah blah. But I don't know. Unless I have to, I ain't doing it. At the end of the day.
Toss that.
Yeah, but even speaking on that whole idea, you know, with this, I guess, you know, societal expectation of taking the vaccine, like what do y'all think as far as even just in your personal outlook on in the world, like as far as you know, where you want for yourself and what you think society wants for you, like do you think there's a difference? Does it align? Is it the same thing? Like what's your outlook on that?
Yeah, I think it's a lot to that. That's like a loaded question, but I do think that society wants you to put your head down and work and work and work and work until you can't work anymore. You know what I'm saying? Until your mental capacity is not there anymore, until your the physicality is not there. Like society wants you to put in the work to make everybody else rich. And then when you are at the age where you can't really do it anymore, then you get cents on the dollar so you can retire. And I think that's one reason why society doesn't push entrepreneurism, because if you look at it, they teach you how to fit in with you know, working in the corporate world, or even just in retail or whatever your job is. They teach you how to do that and how to be you know, efficient enough to make money. They don't teach you, and this is one of the topics that we had previously that I definitely think there should be entrepreneurism courses that are mandatory in high school as well as college. But yeah, I think that's one of the things. Like we can get in, and I know y'all guys are studied up and smart on all different aspects, but we can get into the food aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Like we can get into food aspect of it. We can get into how easily accessible fast food is and how bad it is for you. Shit, we can get into the monetary aspect, but I just touched on, you know, the corporate world. But I'm gonna pass it to y'all because this
that shit real though.
Question.
That shit real though. It was like who the fuck wants to work 40 hours a week? You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all niggas be putting all types of fucking memes and shit out there trying to grind if you don't shine or whatever the fuck, you know. I'm not trying to fucking grind for 60 hours a week and on all that extra shit. Nigga, who the fuck wants to do that shit? Niggas just trying to get easy money out there, trying easy extra money. It's like, it's fucking stupid. Work smarter, not harder, nigga. At the end of the day, work smarter, not harder. At the end of the day, I don't want to fucking break my fucking back out this joint. Nobody wants to. We supposed to be in what was it? I don't know what age we supposed to be in, but goddamn, niggas thought we was gonna have flying cars out this joint by at least by 2000, my nigga. At least by 2000. It's like, come on,
building.
God damn, they just now building them joints. It's like, come on, get the fuck out of here. We supposed to been on some George what is it? Jetson shits. You're supposed to have been off the Jetson shit. Supposed to have been off that shit. Ain't nobody trying fucking slave out there joint. Nigga, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. I'm trying to chill. I know y'all niggas trying to chill. I'm trying to chill.
Yeah, but I agree with you, Paul. Everything is designed for you just to not question everything and just follow some type of narrative. And you're just better off, being busy and sleep and docile, to the
Yep.
major companies out here, and that's what push everything.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. They push that worker mentality shit. It's not even just the that shit. It's just it's like the whole schooling system and shit.
That was exactly what I was about to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to go right in on that shit.
Yeah. So Randall and I think you said it perfectly. And what that actually, like, a light bulb went off in my head too about oh shit, this is not going to be something that's well received, but the drug industry as well. Because if you think about all of the things that they say that is going to make you whole or full, or you got, what I'm saying? I'm just talking about the people that have ADD or the people that have, just whatever diagnosis that they put on you, and they give you Ritalin and this and that, and all of this stuff is like a lot of it is meant to make you docile. It's meant to make you, come down a notch or two.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't realize what you're supposed to be realizing. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. It's a lot of, if you look at a lot of these drugs that they selling over the counter or even prescription, a lot of them make you feel like you want to go to sleep. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not a lot of this stuff that they're saying, oh yeah, that whoever is writing for you to say, yeah, this was going to wake you up and make you realize what's going on, you know what I'm saying? Make you more perceptive. Like, that shit, that's not readily available. It's, oh, okay, you got anxiety? Okay, take this. This will make you come down and go to sleep for half of your life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the shit is just is real commercial now, and and that's why I think that's a lot of the they call it the opioid issue.
Yeah,
but that's just been around for a long time. That's just not something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I do agree with like that whole thing that y'all pretty much both of y'all was saying, as far as like this certain narrative, as for certain expectation, like even as far as like, it's like you go to school from a kindergarten all the way up to high school, graduate, then you gotta go to college, then you gotta go to your career, and then you gotta get married, you gotta buy a house, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like all these expectations that you have to follow that guideline, you know what I'm saying? And then if you don't, you get judged. And then they also go with even in like when we was talking about the school situation, like I think that whole mentality starts in school, because like certain things where they have like the grading system, and it'll be like or they'll have like people getting shamed for doing wrong publicly, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that whole fear of public shame like kind of molds people into falling in line, trying to be like everybody else. Like even as far as like the how you dress, how you wearing certain clothes. It's like, oh, if you don't wear these clothes, you're not cool, you're not it. So then people try to wear the same kind of clothes, you know what I'm saying, just because they have that fear of people joning on them, going on them, you know what I'm saying? I feel like just that whole like mindset starts in the in the school age. And then that just goes all the way up into the damn workplace. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same shit there. So, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's like, oh, fall in line. If you don't, you'll get publicly reprimanded. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, oh, did you know so-and-so did this? You don't want your name going around in the workplace. So here, let me make sure I just do what I got to do. Let me be a good worker. You know what I'm saying? It's like all that kind of shit kind of just ties down. And it's all rooted in just like, going along to get along. You know what I'm saying? It's literally all that shit is rooted in going along to get along. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of what society kind of molds you to, and a lot of us lose our individuality within that, you know. And
And
a
it's
lot of
crazy.
times, a lot of us have gifts, talents. Let me just finish this last whole point. A lot of us have gifts, talents, abilities that we never cultivated because it may not have been cool, or we may not have been able to, you know, whatever that what gift was, you know, wasn't appreciated, you know, wasn't cultivated. It was, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like you don't even develop that side of yourself because nobody appreciated, because they're more focused on, or what kind of shoes you got, or how you walk, and how you know, superficial shit. So, that was my point. But go ahead, Randall.
I was just gonna say like, and when you do step out there and don't have like unconventional ideas, or you know, be more of like a individual person, like you pretty much like ostracized as a, you know, person in society. So, and they do that, like they make a business of doing that stuff. Like you got all these like, you know,
Yeah,
like media shows or TMZ and shit like that, and they like single out one person and like, isn't this guy crazy, guys? Like, come on, look at this guy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
So I got one more thing. So and this reminded me from what you were talking about, Marcus. All right. So if you look at insurance, I'm not sure if anybody on here is in insurance, but if you look at insurance, specifically health insurance or life insurance, they're basically betting that your ass is gonna die within a certain age, and that's what life insurance is based on. If you understand the aspect of putting money towards your life insurance, they're basically betting on your death.
it makes sense though. It's like it makes sense. Like, oh, does he smoke? Do they do this? Do they do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. They're pretty
Yeah.
much calculating. Okay, based on your activities, the way you live your life. You know what I'm saying? You're worth this
Right.
much. You know what I'm
And
saying?
then you
Sounds
get
crazy.
a certain amount of money that you can accrue. You know what I'm saying? And that shit goes to your fucking beneficiary because they're betting on your death. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, okay, this is how much money I can make off this person before they die. Like, that's just crazy. Like, just to think about shit like that, and to think how you know, certain foods and fast foods and stuff that actually kills us quicker is easily being accepted in society. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like, it's almost like, bro, like, you almost gotta go against the grain your whole life just to be fucking healthy. You know what I mean?
But you kind of do. It takes more. It takes more of a conscious effort to be healthy rather than just to. It's like,
Right,
you
to
know, it's
go
kind of
along with it.
like that conveyor belt life. It's like that conveyor belt life. You just go to, you know, it's like you wake up, you hit your alarm, get in the shower. It's like you just on auto drive. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, oh, go to McDonald's, grab my McMuffin and a coffee. You know what I'm saying? Then you go to work, come home. You know, same routine. It's like, so you know, you're not even aware, like you're not eating healthy, and then these habits you keep accumulating day after day. You're not even thinking about the overall, like the compounding effects of the shit. But I feel like that's how this life is designed, for you to not be that aware of yourself.
Yeah.
To be so caught up in the matrix to not even be that aware of yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's real. That shit is real.
So you think, do you think all of this is like planned? Like there's like one grand plan to make you like this?
I mean, yeah, think about it. If I'm trying to profit, of course you want to try to mold people's minds in a way to consume whatever shit you want them to consume. Like, why not? You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to make the most profit you can, why not mold niggas' minds to get to eat from the hand that you know what I'm saying, feeding them with? Like, why? Like, literally, like training niggas to eat from your hand type shit. Like, it's kind of what it is. That's literally what fast food is. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
I
think
just
about
mean
it.
like
You got
in
fast food.
general.
Why? I ain't got time to cook.
I mean in general,
What you mean?
like how we saying, like how, you know, how society just wants like a slave, pretty much a slave race, a sleep slave race. Do you think that's like by design? Like across the board, there's like one I don't know, like a lawmaker in that fashion.
I mean, I don't know. I would just say that the people who are in power who don't go along the same rules, like the niggas who write the rules, you know what I'm saying? I feel like those, like it was some whole different shit with them. Like they don't abide by the same shit
Yeah,
that we do, you know?
yeah, yeah. I agree.
So it's like, why would you want to give other people access to that? You would want to keep that to you and yours. You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody, like, think about it, if somebody got to write the rules, I mean you gotta go by the rules that you write. Like if you write them, you don't have to go by them. You know what I'm saying? It's for other niggas. It's not for you. Think about it. Why would you want to lose the ability to make rules for others and shit like that? Like why would you want to lose that power?
Yep. Yep.
Sleep. Where's a sleep race?
Man, hey, the Matrix pretty much was one of the realest movies ever, nigga. Like, that shit was crazy. The Matrix is literally like explaining the life that we live every day. And it was
Yeah.
funny because I don't think people was really talking like that until that movie came out. And it's like all of a sudden just everybody started seeing the shit, but they didn't see it before, you know.
Yeah, man.
That's even why we even coined the term the Matrix and shit. But speaking on movies and shit, we have a lot of people like these two actors. There's been a lot of back and forth about them. You know, they like Jay-Z and Nas,
What's up with
some
that
people in the
tenant?
acting world, you know. But right now, like, who are you more of a person of, a Deniro or a Pacino? Who are you more of a fan of? Who's your guy? Who are you more of a fan of their movies? Or who do you think is a better actor? How about that?
This is so tough.
Tough one, man.
And
All right, so who has like, let's go down a list of classics. Who has, let's name some classics then.
all right. The reason I
So
asked
what's
this
some,
question, right? I asked this question, and the reason why I asked this question because I watched like I always watch Godfather, or even if I'm like going to bed and I need to go to sleep, I'll just play Godfather 1 in the background and I fall asleep to it. But like I was watching Godfather 2, and I was like, how many movies had they been in, in the same movie together? And it's like maybe 2 or 3. And I was like, damn, like who has a better career? And if I had to like narrow it down, De Niro has been in more movies, like more classic movies, but I think Pacino has had more impactful characters, if I could explain it like that.
I feel you with that one.
Because De Niro's been in Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, Cape Fear, Heat. He was
Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers. Was the grandpa John. The Fan with Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, the Fan.
Deer Hunter. Goodfellas, Casino.
Untouchable.
Goodfellas, Casino.
Yeah, Heat. Righteous Kill. Like all these jumps.
Too many.
Yeah, like his
classics.
The list is crazy, but Pacino, I mean, Michael Corleone is probably like one of the coldest, characters that's probably ever like touched cinema. So I don't know. And then for him to go from,
and he was
for him to go from Michael Corleone, like this boss that just like demanded respect and it was so like even kill, and then to play his character in like Donnie Brasco, like he was at the bottom of the chain and shit, like that balance right there, or him playing like Carlito's Way, he was out the game and come back in the game, trying to get out the game. Like I don't know. I think Pacino had
Give a Sunday too.
Yeah. Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate, yep.
Scarface and Dog Day Afternoon and Pacino only has one Oscar. I think De Niro has 2.
You know what? Al Pacino got more of a mean streak. Now that I'm looking at the comparison between movies, like I feel like Al Pacino is like more of a feared character.
Yeah.
In most of his movies, and Deniro is more like a respected character, and so I think I don't know, man. I agree with what you said. I can't say it better. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I feel like Al Pacino has like the most significant roles that are like it either makes you love the motherfucker or hate the motherfucker. Like in Devil's Advocate, like he played the hell out of that joint. And then on the other hand, De Niro been in classics, like every fucking classic. Yeah. Like I could watch that shit over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it at that.
And then De Niro won Best Supporting Actor. He won an Oscar for Godfather 2. And I feel Pacino was the best actor, and he was better than Brando. He was better than like everybody in those Godfather series. So like, who did he lose to for Best Actor? And Godfather 1 and 2. Like I don't get it.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Yeah, I'm going with De Niro too. I mean, but for me personally, just because he has more memorable movies that he was in. For me personally, and some of my favorite movies, like Goodfellas, one of my probably in my top 5 movies of all time. So, and his character in that movie, like you know, what I'm saying that was one of my favorite characters. So yeah, and then Al Pacino, like you said, I think he is when he appears in movies, it's just like powerful. Like he steals every show he's in. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I'm just gonna go Robert De Niro because I just have more, familiarity with. I mean, I even say familiarity. He has way more movies just to pull from. You know what I'm saying? So like way more. So I'm gonna go with De Niro on that one.
Hide and Seek. Like I'm just thinking of shit. Like he was in a lot of shit.
Like he got so many.
Yeah, it's a
even
lot.
that Grandpa Johnny did with Zac Efron. That shit was funny as shit. That Grandpa Johnny, he was wild as shit in that show.
Sleepers.
Who was that in the Fuckers?
De Niro. And he got some director jumps because he directed A Bronx Tale and.
Oh, that was I didn't know he directed that joint.
Mm-hmm. That joint's like about his life.
Oh, word.
Yeah, he's Caligula because he married
Caligula or whatever his niggas.
He's married to he's married to a sister.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
damn, that makes
Niro.
sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense now. Damn, and that was a dope ass movie. Damn.
Yeah, De Niro's in a lot, man.
Look, he got The Godfather 2, Taxi Driver, Deer Hunter, Raging Bulls, Awakenings, Cape Fear, Silver Linings Playbook, The Irishman, Goodfellas, Midnight Run, Analyze This, Meet the Parents.
More than we can.
Untouchables. Wasn't he Untouchables?
New York. Untouchables. I'm not sure.
No, that was Kevin Costner. What was the jump when he was Capone?
Yeah, De Niro might got it. I think Al Pacino is in the joint just
Marvin's Room,
just off the strength of Scarface. Off the strength of Scarface. Because I think everybody fuck with that jump. Everybody fuck it. That's a hood classic.
That's a cult classic.
Hood classic, cult classic. Mm-hmm.
Remember that time period when like all the rappers had like all that Scarface shit?
Mm-hmm.
Like it was almost like a put. It was almost like a push in rap where it was like everybody. I remember niggas in high school was wearing like Scarface jackets and shit. Shit was weird.
And he did that after.
That shit was like
that was like the 80s.
Yeah. That shit weighs heavy though. That Scarface joint weighs heavy though. That shit weighs heavy.
He went from playing a Sicilian prince, like mob boss, to a Cuban
Al
refugee.
Pacino was in Dick Tracy, remember?
Yeah, he was like
he was a little half-faced joint. And
he
was the villain. He was like the main villain in Dick Tracy. Carlito's Way.
Mm-hmm.
Carlito's Way.
Donnie Brasco, Devil's Advocate.
What was the John with Matthew McConaughey? Two for the Money.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Righteous Kill, Ocean's 13. They had everybody in that joint.
Nigga,
yeah, I'm still going with
Sunday.
Deniro,
Sunday.
Yeah, we already said. Yeah, but I'm definitely still going like they. I mean, they can go neck and neck. They might as well have a fucking what's it called?
Versus
a movie battle, like a versus. Because these niggas would be perfect in a versus right here, for real. But I'm going with Deniro on that one.
Yeah, that scene when they was.
Did y'all watch that last versus?
Nah.
Which one? What was the last versus? What was the last versus?
E40 versus
Nah, I ain't see that.
I ain't keep that.
I seen the little cuts on it. I wasn't, nigga. I'm not from Cali. I wasn't even. I don't know why niggas was so hyped for that joint. Like, dog. I was like, dog. It's like, come on, dog. It's not like it's Snoop and Dre or some shit out there. It's like, come on, dog.
But some niggas would say like E40 is like the best rapper all the time.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's a local thing over there. Yeah. Some niggas would say that.
Exactly, that's local. He's a local rapper. Both of them niggas is local rappers. E Shorty and Too Short. E Shorty. E40. Exactly. E Shorty and 240. E Shorty.
That's a whole new rapper.
Exactly. Get him out of here.
All right. Well, since we speaking on battles and everything, like, is there a thin line between friends and enemies? Like, do y'all think that? Is there a thin line? Like, do you think because of I guess it's a close connection that you have with someone, you might build a rapport. So like, if things don't go right in that relationship, maybe because there's emotion there, it could be turned into a negative emotion if the relationship ends in a bad way. But I don't know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think there's a thin line?
If it's like true friends, then you can always like hash it out.
That's family.
Yeah, but
that's true.
But what you're saying though, Marcus, like family and friends, they have the opportunity to fuck you over the worst. So they could be your worst enemy after the fact, after you cross a certain line or something like that. If it comes to that,
I mean, that's
So
I think it's true, and I think it's obvious because it's like if you really pay attention to most altercations, it's usually spotted with somebody it's usually a friend or family member. Whenever somebody like in a heated, passionate beef with somebody, it's with somebody they're close with. It's never really a stranger. So I think it's always I think it's inevitable because I feel like when you get close to somebody, you build like some sort of emotional connection to them that's positive. But then, like I said, when it goes sour, then it's like it goes from I love you to I hate you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but if it's somebody you never cared about and you wouldn't even have that level of attachment to give a fuck, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like whatever. It's like just the fact that you care for that person creates that line, you know what I'm saying? So if somebody did something to you, it's like, damn, I loved you. You did me wrong. Now it turns into hate. Rather, if it's somebody you didn't even have an expectation for, it's not going to be that strong. You know what I'm saying? You kind of cut your cards with people you don't really give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? Right. But when it's somebody you actually care about, that's when it becomes like a thing. So I think I think that's like kind of almost how it works, But pretty much. Yeah.
The severity of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That should make sense.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of time, I think the main reason why that breeds, and like what you were saying earlier, Randall, is like when you can be close to somebody, if it's genuine and true love, like you gonna fuck with them regardless, like good or bad, whatever what it may be. But then you have like some people where, like, let's say, especially with family, for an example, let's say you was like the little nigga in the room, well, you know what I'm saying, and then all of a sudden in your family, everybody used to tease you and shit. And then all of a sudden you grew up and you come like the swan of the family and shit. And then all your cousins be hating on you and you be like, why my cousins hating on me? I grew up with them. They love me because they remember all your flaws. They remember all the times you made mistakes. They know your secrets. They know. So they like, who does this person think he is to go from being little tink tink to, you know what I'm saying, being the you know what I'm saying? But a lot of that, but a lot of that is what creates a lot of like, I guess flaws in family, because a lot of times they don't. It's like that saying. It's like people would like to see you good, but they don't like to see you do better than them. Especially when they have you pegged as being on their level. When you start to pass their level, that's when you start to see envy, and it's sad. You know what I'm saying? But the shit happens, and a lot of time it be your family probably the most, but friends, it happens a lot with friends too. But that's just some real shit. There's some real shit.
Yeah, I think Randall said something important as far as like true friends. I feel like there's a difference between true friends and a friend that you know what I'm saying, you might consider that as your friend or associate, but you don't really trust them. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a big difference. I feel like true friends, they will always be able to get over something or talk about it or talk it through. But sometimes if that's not, you know what I'm saying, if that's not your true friend, you might just like pass it as that's a loss and not even not even talk to them no more. You know what I'm saying? Just because you ain't losing shit. So yeah, I think it's a difference. I think family is totally like that shit. Family knows everything about you. So if you get on the bad side of your cousin that you grew up with, you know what I'm saying? Like that, I think that's the worst. Like I'm glad I haven't had to go through that like immediately, like in my close family, but I can see that as being really bad because, you know, your cousins, your siblings, if they on your worst side, that shit that can cause a lot of fucking like dissension and headache. So I could see that. I can definitely see that. What you think, Al?
That shit, y'all hit it on the head. Like, I mean, like family, especially, and then also with like small altercations, not even small altercations within friends, and that don't just escalate because like literally you know everything about somebody. So like, especially like even as we growing up and like seeing some of the different like beefs and neighborhood beefs and different things like that we've seen started. Like some of that stuff started based off of like niggas didn't play like childhood sports together and know everything about somebody. And then like, I don't know, maybe a girl or something comes in between, like a drug deal or something, whatever the case may be, like you can whatever situation you want to right there. But like something happens, but yet guess what? I still know everything about you. I know your family. I know everything about where you stay at and everything like that. So guess what? Now I'm bringing the heat to your front door. And now because I brought the heat to your front door, you know what I'm saying? Like my neighborhood has to respond or my neighborhood responds. And now we are in an all out, you know what I'm saying, war zone based off like an altercation that occurred between two people that ain't really had nothing to do with a whole neighborhood. And then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, like that's how neighborhood beefs have started or what have you. But yeah, that, and then I think I'll just stick with that one because that was more probably so real.
All right, so that phrase need to be retooled. So your greatest friend could be your greatest enemy if you look at it like that. So.
I mean, I don't necessarily know the exact relationship, but even Jeezy and fucking Gucci was friends before. You know what I'm saying? It's like Tupac and fucking Biggie was friends before. It's like it's crazy how that shit just always work out like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like even wasn't it even back in the Bible, Judas, wasn't he the homie at one point? You know what I'm saying? That's there you go. You know?
Yeah.
The devil was an angel. Like, come on, man. You know? it's like, hey, there you go. So it's like, hey, it's almost inevitable, man.
Oh, Godfather and Godfather, Fredo betrayed the family.
Yep.
Michael. So.
Yep. There you go.
Never go against the family.
Never.
Bars.
I think
that also goes into like even like the male ego too. Sometimes, I mean, I know females have the same like thin line between male and females. I mean, thin line between friend and enemies. I wouldn't be surprised if, especially in the terms of like actual violence, murder violence, I'll say, that probably comes along with a little bit of male ego. Y'all think male ego, how big do you think male ego plays a part in this? And then also like in just normal settings, you know what I mean? Is making sense? No.
The male ego. I mean, yeah, I think the male ego is, I think it's a survival thing. Like, I think it's just a natural competitive amongst males. But I think all people got it, but we focusing on men right now. Like, it's like just a natural competitive. It's a survival instinct. And I as much as people talk about the ego is a bad thing, I think the ego is needed because I feel like it's your survival mechanism. But I also do believe that it's something that you have to control and you have to be aware of. You know what I'm saying? You can't, like, it's okay to have an ego, but you got to check it. You got to be, that's where that self-reflection come in. Be like, all right, did I make this ego from did I make this decision from the kindness of my heart, or did I make this from a clear place, or did I make this decision from my ego? Like, you got to kind of like constantly check yourself like that, rather than trying to get rid of it. Because I feel like a person who has no ego just pretty much just, just, you know what I'm saying? It's like, go just let themselves go. You know what I'm saying? At least that way I look at it. So I don't know. But that's how I look at that shit.
Yeah, I feel like ego, it does tie a lot into your confidence, but it is separate as well, because your ego can get in the way of you accomplishing things, right? So what I realize is that there's notches to your ego, and sometimes you do got to take yourself down a notch or two just to be able to be perceptive and listen and maybe learn more, rather than thinking that you know everything, or that you know what I'm saying, that you don't need any like growth, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's where the big part of where your ego can play into, is limiting your growth and your potential to, what the fuck is that word called?
Expand.
Evolve,
Yeah, or evolve. Yeah.
So that's one thing. I feel like once you get older, you know what I'm saying? Like just think about this, right? Think about this scenario. Think about somebody that's on a basketball team that's the star player for his entire life. Nobody was better than this Bama. And then he gets to the NBA and he's on a bench for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? That do something to your ego. But if he had learned that during college, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to make sure that I'm learning. I need to make sure that I'm evolving. You know what I'm saying? Everything doesn't revolve around me. That actually might lead to his growth, rather than him just realizing that shit in the NBA. And then he's just like, you know what I'm saying? His whole life is done because the nigga ain't even getting no playing time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just, that's just a scenario, but it's a learn. I think it's a learning process, and it's something that I would say that somebody has to discover earlier rather than later. That
I agree.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta be perceptive, but that's it.
I think that's more of a like, I guess. So shit. How do you learn? Do you learn through trial and error? Do you learn through, you know what I'm saying, like actually listening and talking to people? Do you learn through, you know what I'm saying, books and actually knowledge? Or, I mean, I know it's different ways to learn, but I'm just wondering out loud.
I think it's all of those. But I think
I agree.
I think the biggest way to learn is through fucking events. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that the biggest teacher to me is like, you know what I'm saying, him going up against somebody that's better than him and him saying, oh shit, this is high school. you know what I'm saying? I gotta understand that I'm not the best. I'm not the shit. My shit, you know what I'm saying? Like I need to evolve and get better. Like I can't just think that I'm the best out here and nobody can check me. So yeah, I think it's all of those though. I think it's Al, you hit it, man. I think it's books, but I think living through it is the biggest teacher.
Experience.
Yeah.
Experience is definitely the biggest teacher. I definitely think asking questions, you know what I'm saying, and then applying them, you know what I'm saying, and through your application, that's you gaining experience. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where the experience come through. It's kind of like, I wonder how this works. Let me try this. Okay, now I have data. You know what I'm saying? Now I learn. Now I can either go this way, I can go that way. It's like kind of like that type of shit. So I think that's very important. But I think even as far as the whole ego thing, like even like let's say like somebody like Kobe, Michael Jordan, like their egos drove them. You know what I'm saying? It was like that drive to be the best. But then also there was part of the fear of not succeeding. You know what I'm saying? So it was like still that ego aspect of it. Like I said, but it's like that fear of not succeeding is your ego, but you use it in a positive way to drive you rather than letting it be something that's destructive.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Which could also go. So I think that's the balance. Like you need it, but you just got to use it the right way. Use it to your advantage instead of letting it use you. That's kind of like the best way. And a lot of times, we all fall into that, letting our ego take over and shit. We all do that shit. You know what I'm saying? But you just gotta be aware of it, and you gotta be and reflect on that shit and be like, all right, my ego was there. I gotta move different, or you know what I'm saying. Just check yourself. I think it's just that simple. As far as
so that's an awesome example talking about Michael Jordan, because he didn't even start in high school. You know what I'm saying? So he experienced that shit early. Like it wasn't like he got to the NBA and was like already, you know what I'm saying, thinking like I haven't gone through anything in my life that has, you know what I'm saying? Like the nigga wasn't starting in high school. So he was already had a chip on his shoulder, like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get better. I gotta show what I gotta do. I gotta evolve. So I think that's a good example.
Look,
because
and I apologize. Go
no.
ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, it sometimes you need to be humble, man. I'm gonna say that out straight out. You know what I'm saying? I've never known somebody that was a high succeeder or a top succeeder without them having some or being humbled earlier in their life. You know what I mean? So that speaks to what Michael Jordan had to go through too. The nigga wasn't even starting in high school. So
that's real shit.
And the thing I was gonna add on top of that is that even as far as that example is Michael Jordan, right? Because your ego work in two ways. So it's like your ego could say, all right, because it's a survival tool. So if Michael Jordan would have failed, he would have been like, damn, I failed. I'm not going to try again, to protect himself from failing. Yeah. So his ego said, Michael, you're not good enough because we don't want to go through that experience no more. So he could have, then that's when the ego used him. You know what I'm saying? But instead of that, but what Michael Jordan did is he used that same fear and used it to make him the best. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that's what it's there for. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta use that shit for for a more, for progressive purpose, So yeah.
You want to know?
I would say.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, Corey.
I got a question.
I was gonna say personally, I know ego fucked me up with football over at fucking Bowie State and shit. Like, especially being like in high school, pee-wee football, that shit. Being good and shit. You're gonna fucking start. You always if you're Gucci, you know what I'm saying. You're gonna fucking start or whatever the fuck. You're gonna fucking start. But going to college and shit and playing football, I had to sit behind the fucking starters and shit and just eat the shit up or whatever the fuck. But the ego fucked me up. Ego fucked me up hard. Ego fucked me up hard over that joint. I just knew I was supposed to start, and I was just out there joining luncheon and whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? As far as college football and shit. Because, I mean, we had I forgot, what was Cuz's name? I forgot the nigga who was playing safety and shit. And he fucked his shit up. He fucked his shit up.
Yeah.
AC.
I remember him.
AC.
Yeah, I remember him.
think it
Trying
was.
not to
Yeah,
say their names, but yeah.
He was a
Yeah,
projected 4th-round pick.
yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It was like ego fucked me up because I just thought I was supposed to start, and I was out there showing luncheon and just getting to smoking weed and doing some other shit or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I was like, fuck going to practice and all this shit and whatever. But that's just that ego sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You think you're supposed to be doing some other shit and you end up doing some other shit. You know what I'm saying?
How closely related is ego and confidence or like overconfidence?
I think they're fucking one and the same, honestly. I think they're fucking one and the same. I think they're one and the fucking same. One and the fucking
I don't know. I don't think so.
Nah, I don't think
I don't think he. I don't think he. You can like.
until you
I
get
don't think
humble.
confidence is necessarily
Until you
rooted
get
in
humble.
ego.
Until
I
you
think
get
confidence is. No, I think. No, I know what I'm saying. I think confidence is rooted more in like belief in yourself through experience. You know what I'm saying? It's like kind of like, okay, I know I can do this because I've done this before, but it's like kind of putting yourself out there to the test and seeing what you're capable of. But I don't think that has nothing to do with just knowing what you're capable of. I don't think that has anything to do with ego. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but
all right, can
maybe
I
I'm not
point
tying
out
the two together.
one particular example of this, and we know this person very well, RG3. This nigga had, I think his downfall was he lost his like supreme confidence, which started with his ego.
What ego did he have though?
Coming back his second year, he had the ego to tell his coaches he's not running certain plays, he's not being
I didn't know that.
he's not being the supreme athlete with
said,
the supreme confidence that he played with in 2012,
I
and
hear
said,
that.
nah, we scrapping all that.
Well, this
He was never the same player after that. He was never the same player after that because
but
you had
I
this.
understand that once you make it to that level though, once you make it to that level, I get it. You maybe you think you can come out here and make certain claims to certain shit or
Like
whatever.
I don't give a fuck about nothing about like play calling and none of that shit. This nigga had supreme confidence on the field. He had athletic arrogance that he walked around with. Like he real life thought he was Superman. And when he played like Superman, he was like untouchable. The same thing with Cam Newton. If Cam Newton played like with that
Cam is different.
Hold on. If Cam played with that same like tenacity, that arrogance that he played with on his MVP year, like he don't try to be the athlete that he was. Like he just comfortable trying to sit in the pocket, get the ball off quick. You know what I mean? Like be an athlete, bro. Be an athlete. You're the same guy. You have the same frame. You have it.
I think some of the time, I think
Cam's trying to keep his job. Cam's just trying to keep his job.
I think, and for me, I think that's the thing. So with confidence is, I guess, basically like having the knowledge and the belief in your own abilities beyond everything else, right? But with the ego, and I know to me, they're still on the same parallel track. But I think for the ego, it's like literally operating on your own self-interest. Whereas though it's like, all right, just how you just brought up RG3, and that's ego came in where it's like, nah, man, I know I'm good. I know I'm great, but fuck that. Like my ego's so big where I'm not even going to like put myself aside for the betterment of the team or put myself aside for the betterment of whatever organization I need to shine. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like actually working within a system per se to actually to create something better. I don't know. My thought.
Yeah, because I think confidence has let me just put it like this. Being a black man in this goddamn motherfucking society, you gotta be confident. I'm gonna put it like that. And I don't care who the fuck you are, you need to be confident in yourself. You need to be confident in your skills, you need to be confident in how you talk, in your communication. I feel like ego has almost like a little negative connotation to it. But confidence, I feel like You know what I'm saying? There's such thing as overconfidence, but I feel like when you grow into yourself, you know when to exude your confidence. You know when to dial it back. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you, Al. Like I think ego is more of a self-centered, arrogance type thing. I think confidence is something that you should have, and I don't think you can have enough confidence. Like I don't think you can have too much confidence in yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that there's a big misconception as ego being confident. You know what I'm saying? I think like just even in society, we kind of like celebrate the asshole. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like that type of shit. So I feel like we kind of look at ego as being confident. And I think it kind of blurs the lines. But I don't really think it's the same thing. You know
hold on, wait. You can't have too much confidence?
I said you can be overly confident, but to me, and just roll with me, as a black man in this motherfucking society, I do not hate on any black man that has too much confidence, because I appreciate that. I want that. I think we should have more black
I agree.
that are more confident. You know what I'm saying? If we had more black men that were confident, we would be ruling this motherfucking world. So I'm just put it like that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think you can't have too much confidence, because whatever you feel about yourself is how you feel about yourself. You don't have to outwardly express it, be super duper like my confidence could be to the fucking moon, and you could think I'm the most humblest nigga in the world, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? But I don't mean how when I apply myself to something, or when I move, or whatever the fuck I do, like I might be supremely confident, but I don't have to show it to you. I don't have to put it in your face. So I don't think you can have too much confidence, but I do think it becomes arrogance when you feel like you got to show it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's probably, or that's where the ego, that's where the ego comes in. You see what I'm saying? I think arrogance is confidence mixed with ego. I guess maybe if that's a good way to put it. You know?
No, that's a good way of putting it. I like it.
Saying like too much confidence have you dressing like Russell Westbrook.
Hey, man, damn. All right. So one day I was in DC, you know what I'm saying, and I seen this dude. He just randomly just went by me, like, you know what I'm saying, on a Segway. You know what I'm saying, and I was just like, man, I've never seen no shit like this in my life. This dude just like. It was a grown ass man in a thong, dog, just on a Segway, just going down like in fucking Adams Morgan, just going down the street, nigga, in broad daylight. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I was telling my homies, I'm like, bruh, you can't believe what I just saw. This nigga was like, I mean, hey, he confident, you gotta do what he gotta do. I'm just like, damn, is that how we see in confidence? Like, you don't think that nigga might have a mental disorder or something? Like, how you see that as confidence? But I don't know. That's what made me think about that shit. I was like, that's not confidence to me, bro. That's but I don't know. Adams Morgan, hey, you know, Adams Morgan.
In broad daylight too.
Yeesh. Yeah, I got it.
No shame.
Hey, you see some wild random shit in DC in broad daylight, dog, for no reason. Like, you will.
Yep.
Confidence, yeah. You see that shit at the beach too.
Yeah, but not in the middle of the city though, bro. Like, that's wild. Like, not in the middle of traffic.
Yeah, so
well, fuck the flow up with that one. Like, how do we come back from that? It's like
so real quick, since we on the confidence tip, I know we was talking about ego, but we on the confidence tip, right? So damn, all 5 of us got sons. I was gonna say for those of us that got sons. So my question is for all of y'all. What as raising a black man in this society, what do you think? How do you show your son to be confident? And this is not a question of that. You know, it's something that I think 5 of us lack. I'm just asking y'all, how do you instill confidence, because you are a role model, you are the father. How do you instill confidence, or how do you make sure that your sons will utilize to the top capacity, you know what I'm saying, their confidence?
I'll say just positive reinforcement, and even when they fuck up, especially when they fuck up, positive reinforcement. Like always have like a lesson, or even if we watching something and like, you know, especially like in movies or something like that, and like a character is messing up, or you know what I mean, there's always like a lesson at the end. Turn the negatives or the fuck ups into a lesson.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. I say with my son, I always try to speak big him up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be like calling him champ, big man, king. Like I would just refer to him, and I always refer to him like that because I wanted to tap into his subconscious to see himself in a higher light. You know what I'm saying? So I literally like just refer to him as these type of things like all the time. You know what I'm saying? Whenever I talk to him, the same thing you were saying, Randall, was like just that positive reinforcement. Even when they mess up, I think that's very important too. And yeah, man, pretty much that. Like, yeah, just always like, you know, acknowledging like, oh, you know what I'm saying, positive traits. Like as much as when they mess up and you talk about things they do wrong, when they do positive things, when they do good things, they should be recognized for that too, you know. So
yeah, that's a big one.
Especially now, because I was just thinking about this weird ass, especially for our sons, Marcus, this Corona year, these dudes graduated and didn't get no type of ceremony. Then went to the 6th grade and went to middle school virtually. You know what I mean? Like they need every type of praise they can get right now.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and just transferring to 6th grade and just not having interaction with other kids their age. You know what I'm saying? Because you know this is going from basically little kid elementary school shit to you're blossoming into an adult and you're not even interacting with other kids your age. So that shit is kind of like, you know, I was thinking about that. But yeah, go ahead though. Who's up next though?
I'm just listening, and I feel like Alex, we might be in the same boat. We just listening, we taking notes. You know what I'm saying? I got a 1-year-old. And Alex, I think your son is like maybe 2, maybe 3 at the most. You know what I'm saying? I'm just taking notes. That's
so
it.
I'm 2. So AJ 2, but at the same time, like I try to do like positive affirmations with him too. I call him like Marcus said, I call him big boy, but at the same time, like I ain't even gonna lie to you, like the cool running shit where you look in the mirror and you say I am smart, I am whatever. We do that shit.
Yeah, that shit.
But they need that
on a frequent basis. Like I'm talking about, like why you sitting teeth, like regardless of what everybody else is gonna say about you, as long as you can look in the mirror and say, you know what I'm saying, like I'm good, I'm comfortable in my skin, like we can build off of that. Like we can start with everything and to that point where we turn the lessons into like Randall said, we turn the lessons into stuff. I mean, turn to what we see into lessons. But right now, like if he can learn that at age 2, that he look in the mirror while he brushing his teeth and be like, you know what, I am handsome, I am funny, like whatever you want to say, we can create all that shit. Like we do that right now.
That's important, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because now those phrases, especially him being that young, those phrases is just going to be in the back of his mind. He's going to be thinking them without thinking them. You know what I'm saying? So that's important. You know what I'm saying? I think so that's real good. That's real good. Yeah.
One thing. Well, it's a couple of things that I've done, but one thing that I did was I talked to my son like he's an adult at age 1 to 1 and 2. You know what I mean? Ain't no goo goo gaga like all that BS. He can get that from whoever, family members that want to baby him. But I talked to him like an adult, you know, and he was literally having conversations, grown conversations with people at like age 1.5. And so like one thing that I make sure I instill the positive affirmations, but also like a sense of responsibility. Because as you get older, you know, especially as a young male, you want to understand that you're progressing. You want to understand that, you know what I mean? Like you're getting better and better at something, or you're being able to be responsible for more things. And so like that's one thing that I make sure that, you know, it's like a progression. Because I know me, and so this is the funny thing about it too. A lot of you probably see yourself in your sons, and I know how I learned. I know how I, you know what I mean. I know how I receive things. I know how competitive I am, and so like I just try to, you know, I try to like nurture that in my son, because I know he has a lot of like innate aspects that I had, and a lot of people don't learn or receive things the same way. And so that's one thing that I realized I tap into, because I'm different. Like if you challenge me, I will like I will fucking go to the ends of this earth to prove you wrong. And I know, you know what I'm saying, certain things like that. Like if a coach challenges, you know, some players, like they'll back down. But it's all about your mentality and how you receive things and how competitive you are, or how you think. You know what I mean? So I think that's one thing that I tapped into. I understand how he receives things so that he can get better and better. So yeah, man, it's ongoing. It never ends.
And then the other thing, is just the continuous conversations, especially like how you were talking about how you learn from different things from your experiences as well. Like the continuous conversations, like so, just having the conversations with my pops, like it was always it was basically like you can have your own thoughts, you can have your own questions about different things, just be confident in that shit. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? Like if you can talk about it, you can articulate it. And even if you can't articulate it, you can do your research on it. And it's okay to say, I don't know something, and then go do your research and come if you do find out the valuable information. Or it's okay to, you know what I'm saying, if you don't know something, just be like, all right, fuck it. That ain't for me right now. But just be confident in what you know, and be confident in your being.
Hey, so Al, all right, this is the last thing, because that shit got me. All right, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. One thing that I definitely tell and instill in my son is to be able to disagree with somebody, right? Because you should never go along with everything that somebody says just because they're older than you. I actually have conversations with him and tell him, like, do you disagree with that? If you disagree with that, you know, I understand. Just tell me why. Give me an explanation, full explanation, and I ain't gonna go against it. Like if you give me a good explanation, man, you did something today. So he'll give me a like, you know, I don't agree with that, and this is why. And I'm like, well, that's a good ass answer. You got it.
Hey, but Paul, that's a very good point, because I went through that with my son before, but I came from the generation where your parents was like kind of like, I'm the parent, you wrong, I'm right, just because I'm the parent. So it's like, even if you were made a valid point, even if you know what I'm saying, it's like it didn't matter. It's like they're the parent. But like I remember I was disciplining my son about something that he was like, yeah, but dad, some that's not fair. And I was like, damn, you kind of right though. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? You good, man. You good. I was like, you good, right? But that I think that's a healthy thing, because now he has the confidence to speak up for himself
Exactly.
rather than thinking that he can't even voice his opinion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's important. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think that definitely helps a lot. You know, and and another thing I always try to instill in my son, I say to him all the time, you gotta believe in yourself first before anybody else believe in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't ever sit there and look to somebody else. You gotta start with yourself every single time. You know what I'm saying? So I think I always try to get that shit through to him.
I like that, man. And I think you hit on something heavy too, because when I was, you know, when we were growing up, that was the thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't talk back. You don't talk back to people that's older than you. You don't disrespect this. You know what I'm saying? But I think we in a new generation, and I think that's a generational curse. Like it's not, nah, fuck that. I'm 15 years old and you 40, but that don't mean you right. Like, you know,
Well, look,
like if I got an explanation and I understand this subject better than you do, you should be able to talk and speak on it. So yeah, I think that's the big.
And the funny thing about that is at that time when my son said it to me, I was doing some shit that my dad would have did. You know what I'm saying? I was like, hold on, this is how I'm supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's just like kind of like that the same exact point. And then when he said that to me, I'm like, that's the same shit I used to think when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense now. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. That shit could be like a generational curse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point. But yeah.
Hey, do you think and Paul, when you said this, it reminded me of this. Do you think they're like we are like hardwired to think like, you know, your parents, like genetically, or not think like them, or just have certain traits? You think that's legit? Like you pass on certain things?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because you were talking about when I was saying how your son has like different traits and how
Yeah.
he learns. Yeah, I think that, man. I think that when you're talking about DNA and stuff, I think that has a huge impact on who you are as a person.
Like more than
And
just like, you know, how they say like alcoholism, like running people's families and shit like that. Do you think like certain, you know, just like mentalities or, you know,
hell yeah,
personality traits?
Like if you have like an addictive personality, then you might see it in your child or some shit like that. That's basically you trying to say something like that.
And yeah,
hell
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely, 150%. You know, that shit. I mean, yeah, especially if something like that runs in your family, that's just like in your genetics. So you kind of susceptible to those things. You know, and then a lot of that has to do with diet too. And I mean, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things.
Yeah,
because you know, just like you know that
just yeah.
that saying like, oh, you just like your father, you just like your father, you just like your like. That's just saying, but I think that's a real.
I don't know, but do y'all see like traits in y'all kids that's like just like y'all, but more advanced at the same age and shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, like he doing the same shit I did, but he's better at it at the same age, like, or the other way around. Like, you know, I guess it's just like a balance, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just be seeing that shit sometimes.
Yeah. I think that's like super true.
Yeah.
Marcus and Randall, like I feel like a lot of things that I even see like on a progressive basis, like I'll be like, damn, that's fucking me, bro. He answer questions or how he, you know what I'm saying, how he understands things, or his like quiet, humble confidentness. Like I see a lot of that shit, and I'm like, it'll be stuff that he understands, and then he don't even say it. But when it comes to him, when it comes back around to him, he just like explain the hell out of it. So yeah, I think that's a lot. But it's also, so we talked about generational curses. It's also the bad traits too that we get in, you know what I'm saying, from our parents. And I say bad freely, but you know, as perfect as we think our parents are, there's some things that they have, like some stubbornness. There's some like selfishness. There's a lot of things too that we can that we carry from our parents that we just like, why am I like this? You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So yeah.
I agree 100%. I have to agree with that aspect 100%. And people really don't talk about that because a lot of times, like, we should get like desensitized to our parents' ways, so we kind of develop that shit, and then we kind of have to like separate ourselves to like kind of see those flaws within our parents, kind of, and be like, oh, that's where I get that from. But when you there amongst them, you don't really see the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like even just a part of growth, you got to kind of be real. You got to be real with it, because I feel like a lot of us don't like to acknowledge our parents' flaws, but a lot of that shit you said, Paul, be in us. In order for us to grow, we have to be real with their shit too. You know what I'm saying? So, and that kind of helps us grow, you know, because that's literally where we came from. That's literally the environment we came from. So you literally are pretty much, you know, like you literally are acting out your, probably even when you first went to college, you was probably acting out your parents and didn't even realize it, because that's just all you know. You know what I'm saying? It's like kind of like some shit like that, but yeah.
And don't quote me, Al. You probably know this, but it's in the Bible that your parents and the generation before your parents actually passed down certain traits and also blessings and also curses to you. So you know what I'm saying? There might be blessings you still receiving from what your parents or your grandparents did, and fucking bad, bad curses
Bad karma.
that you still experience, or just some trials and tribulations that you're going through because of some of the bad things that happen, in their era. So yeah, that shit real, man.
Hell yeah. And then, as Marcus was saying too, I think it's repetition too. So even like this going back to random question, but even like with the repetition of like actually seeing your father, seeing your parents go through. I mean, not even go through, like hypothetically, or for me, my father being like a communicator and actually talking and talking with everybody. Like that's a small characteristic, but like that shit just became so normal for me. Just like seeing how my father like talked to everybody, not even. You know what I'm saying? Like people at the store, but like literally talk to any and everybody at games and everything. And then like y'all niggas still talk about it, like how I go places and know everybody. It's because like that's a small trait, but that's some shit my father used to do. Like literally just know everything and talk to everybody at the various locations and shit.
It's the little things.
Yeah. And and then like literally just saying that shit on a day-to-day out basis is just a repetition that probably adds on to it. And definitely with the bad traits as well. Or as Shaq was saying, the bad traits, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
Go.
Huh?
No, you good. Go ahead.
It's like that movie. Damn, I don't know who it was. The dude from Westworld, Bernard, and then the young dude from Equalizer. I need somebody help.
What movie? What about
It was on
it?
Netflix.
Though? What is the point?
Like how everything happened in full circle and shit with your parents.
Oh, I know
what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. It was the junk, but he was locked up, right?
Yeah. And he met him in the junk. Everything was full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But yeah, that's important, man. Like I think it's a part of growth, man. That's part of growth. And honestly, a lot of times this whole like not wanting to look at your parents or not being honest about the flaws with your parents come from how you was raised, or with that whole you can't question your parents shit. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of like to just accept everything that they do. So yeah.
That's true. That's
shit.
A good one. That's a good one.
Shit.
That's a good one.
Some real shit.
Yeah, you don't second guess your parents when you growing up. You know what I'm saying? You don't actually look at them and be like, oh, they're stubborn as hell. Nah, that's your parent.
Hey, I'll say this. I know a group of people that they let's say that they had a family like that, but it was so bad to the point where it was like they were still living like in the Great Depression, like in 2020. You know what I'm saying? Like because like it was kind of like of a culture that was passed down. It was like kind of like you don't question, you know what I'm saying? Basically, the great grandparents or grandma. So it's like kind of like now everybody has grandma's mentality 2 generations later. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's like kind of like that type of shit. I've seen that before.
All Day and Night is the title of the movie.
Yeah. I know this all about.
And then even to Marcus's point, I mean, like even going back even before that, I think one of the other things that you also got to instill in your child is respect too. So it's extremely important to be able to voice your opinion and voice your explanation and everything. But as long as you do it in a respectful manner, not going to do it in a respectful manner, then, you know what I'm saying, that's when the actual problems are going to come along, because like you can say something and you're going to say it at the wrong time, and that's when you're going to end up getting hypothetical in your mouth. But you can say it you can say the right thing, but if you say it at the wrong time, or if you say it in the wrong tone of voice, then, you know what I'm saying, that's when it's not received like it should be. But yeah.
But they got to learn that, because that respect goes outside the household as well, because just
Facts.
learning how to be respectful, and that right there eliminates so much bullshit in your life.
Yep.
If you just give people just general respect, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit eliminates a lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to learn that shit in the house first. You know?
Yeah.
And it allows for you to actually have. I was just gonna say, and it allows you for you to articulate and explain like even your differences and everything, like even outside of the house.
Yeah.
So like sometimes you can have that safe space in the house, whereas though, like, all right, well, I can say, you know what I'm saying, what's on my heart to my parents or whoever's in my siblings or what have you. But once I step in the office, I don't know exactly how to say it. But if you are able to do that respectfully in your house at mostly all times, I'll say all times, then you're able to go out into, you can translate that into the workforce. You can translate
Exactly.
You can translate that in everything else. So that's big.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's like that's a communication skill set. Just like, you know what I'm saying, just like lifting weights gives you muscles. That's something you gotta practice. Like that communication aspect. Like you can be a fucking English major and still not know how to communicate to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the most important traits to leadership too. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not worse than having a person in a leadership with poor communication skills. You know? That's like the worst shit. That's like the worst shit. You know.
That's true. That's true. That's true. We got 2 boxes empty. Where y'all go? We trying to close out.
Yep. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 35 of the Flight Room Podcast. We back, you know what I'm saying, fresher, better than ever. I hope y'all enjoyed the conversation. Please like and subscribe our videos, comment, engage with us. And, happy holidays to y'all.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
All that
Merry.
good stuff.
Stay safe, y'all.
Yeah.